Hello and selamat datang and welcome to our Wallet Noodle continuation series. Today I'm testing pan min or soup pan min to be very precise. And you can see different types of pastas already here are all our challenges. You can see fried anchovies there. More on that later. But yes, stay tuned and let's get right into it and welcome. So let's get started. I've got some water, I've got some mushrooms. I'm going to wash some kombu. I've got to use kombu, even though normally pan min soup stock is made out of fish, anchovy, sorry, dried anchovy or dried fish. But because of the family, we're vegetarian, and we have spare pumpkin, I'm going to make some sort of a pumpkin-based broth. So the purists can look away right now. But yeah, so I've got pumpkin, I've got dried mushroom that I've washed also in there. And yeah, I'm just going to put this to boil before I season it. I'll take out the mushrooms to slice it later for the sauce pot part. But yeah, that's about it. So this is going to cook. I'm using rice cooker today because I'm lazy and I want to keep the soup for a while. So yeah. Okay, so the soup has been boiling or cooking for about almost 1 hour now. And I've just only taken the mushrooms out. I'll show you that in a short bit, but I just want to show you I'm going to add additional flavoring, more seaweed powder to give a bit of that umami taste that I'm lacking from the fish. Yeah, ordinarily I would just use fish powder, but as I said, because of making it vegetarian friendly, so we're just going with vegetarian options. And that was basically mushroom powder and seaweed powder that I just put in. I'll show you the dried seaweed that I've taken out. I'm going to slice it for my sauce. I don't need to flavor the soup so much because in traditional pan soup, the soup actually doesn't need much flavor, because the bulk of the taste comes from the filling or the topping that I'm going to show in a short while. So I don't need to add much salt. I will flavor it a bit just in case, as always happens in my family, that the filling sauce or the topping sauce runs out, so the soup cannot be too plain. So I will add a bit more salt later. But yeah, I'll just get started with the filling soon. So just to catch up to where we are now, I've been stirring or stir frying these mushrooms to get ready for the filling. The topping, I don't know why I keep saying filling. Yeah, and as you can see, they're halfway there. I'm going to put in white fungus that I was soaking and then slicing. So that's going in as well. And once this is cooked up, I'm going to be adding the soy proteins to substitute mincemeat, because not sure if you know, but traditionally this is made with mincemeat. So I will substitute that with a soy protein-based item. That's not the only substitution that I'm making today. Normally in the soup, we will also boil a sayo manis, which is type of Southeast Asian vegetable that's normally used for pan min. While I can get sayo manis or sweet leaf vegetable here, I don't have it today, but I will substitute it with spinach at the end. So later I'll just toss it into my soup before serving, just to make sure it's cooked through as well. So I'm just going to brown this up and wait a bit more before I add some water and then the soy proteins. So I've just liberally salted it because obviously this is where most of the flavor is going to come from. So I'm adding the water now, maybe a bit more, and then I'm going to put the soy proteins in. I call it soy schnitzels. I'm going to be using a fair bit of this here, so not stingy with it at all. Just going to pour it out. It's going to absorb the water quite a bit, so I'm probably going to need to top up water. Yeah, and I already see it drying out, so I'm going to top up a bit more water. In the meantime, while I'm cooking this up, I'm also going to flavor it a bit and start flavoring it already to get it ready. So I've got some Sichuan pepper powder that I'm going to use for this. Just as said, the bulk of the flavor will come from the topping. So this needs to be yeah, a bit strong, but just be careful to not over season it or over flavor it as well. So somehow the balance needs to be there. And to try and achieve this, what I normally like to do, which I probably won't show here, is I like to at the end of the cooking here, I like to take a bit of the soup and mix it up with the gravy here that I'm cooking, just to make sure that the end result is not over salted. And I normally do that both whether I'm cooking with meat or without. So yeah, that's maybe one point to just mention as well. So I've got pepper right now, so then I'm going to put in. Maggi sauce comes in at the end, so you're waiting for that. Just wait till the end. And I'll come back to this, yeah, while the item gets cooking. So I just wanted to show you the result. I sauced it with Maggi sauce right over there. And it's cooked through. I tasted it a couple of times. Yeah, it's just borderline on the salty side, but like I said, it will be compensated by the lack of flavor in the soup. Although I salted the soup just a tad bit as well. So the sauce is ready. I'm going to start preparing the noodles, but yeah, I'll just show you what I'm working on after this. So our first contender for these noodles is going to be lasagna sheets, and I have just a couple of them. Don't mind that one that I'm touching. I have some soaking in, and if you notice some particles in there, don't mind that. I was doing some experiments and there was a bit of a leak, but yeah, it doesn't really affect my pasta cooking. So yeah, lasagna sheets is going to be our first contender, and these ones have been more or less cooking it. So I'm going to soak it into a bowl of water while we wait for the rest of our pasta. So yeah, let's see. I was just taking the lasagna sheets out, and I must say, having tasted some of it, lasagna sheets are an early contender for just outright winning it. But I wanted to introduce you to some of our contenders first that I'm going to cook. I know when I was doing research for this topic, a number of people mentioned using tagliatelle or fettuccine. But I wanted to show you something that we have locally in Germany, and this is called Bandnudeln. And if you look at the thickness of it, Bandnudeln is a much better fit. So Bandnudeln has always been my safe choice for for pan mein type of things. But for the soup applications, it's always been a bit lacking something. But for konlo and for sauce applications, this is perfect, as you've seen in one or a couple of my other videos as well. The dark horse that I have this time is this one, and I'm genuinely excited for this because it's the first time I'm using mafaldine. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, so feel free to correct me if I'm butchering it somehow. So I'm just going to throw it in, and let's see how it turns out. Because if you look at the whiteness of it, I mean, slightly wider than the Bandnudeln that we have, and it looks perfect. I mean, it looks like a shortcut lasagna sheet, honestly. That you could easily use. So I'm very curious about this one. So let's see how it turns out. I'm going to put a number of this and not too much, but yeah, let's see. We'll come back to that. I want to introduce one more to you. I presume this will take longer time to cook, so I'm giving this a head start compared to what I'm going to show you next. So let's just come to that in a short while. So while the mafaldine continues to cook, I'm going to start introducing the dark horses. Number one is a Greek pasta, and I'm quite surprised when I saw it, called noodle platen or plate noodles. I'm surprised by this. I've seen it a couple of times in the store, but I've actually never tried it. So I'm curious about this because if you look at it contextually, it basically looks like cut lasagna sheets, which means, honestly speaking, it could be perfect for this application. So that's why I call it the dark horse. So let's see. And last but not least, our old faithful Bandnudeln. As I said, I already know how this will turn out, but I'll just put in some just for posterity's sake and to make it an even competition. But yeah, that's all the entrance on the pasta, and let's see what the end result is going to be like once they cook. So I've prepared this plate. It's got a bit of everything, all our different pastas that's cooked against the background of that as well. So what I'm going to do is ask my judges to test it, and let's see what we end up with. I'm fairly confident. I have one or two that I think will win it, but let's see how that shows. I'm not going to spoil it for you though. So you'll have to follow up. So we have our conclusions. I guess it depends on what you like. If you like the rough hand torn style or meat, as we call it in Cantonese, then honestly speaking, this noodle platter, this plain noodles, works the best. Yeah, it's surprisingly smooth, and it fits the texture of what you want. So this is the best. This is the winner. Equally or second or maybe joint winner is the mafaldine. This was also surprisingly smooth, and this gives you more like the pam pam mian, piang piang mian, or this Chinese noodle where it's really long, and gives you that type of noodle texture. So that works really well as well. So it really depends on what you want. I was honestly surprised the lasagna sheets didn't do as well as it did. They were rough and honestly a bit thick somehow. So maybe if you find thinner ones, that could also work. But in any case, I guess that's it for this episode. If you like the concept, if you like the idea of testing different types, please let me know in the comments. Give me feedback. And as always, please like, subscribe, and comment. Until then, thanks very much. Jemput makan and see you. Bye.